Hello guys, welcome to Code Crafters Lab. So today we are going to solve our first problem from the basic hashing. So let's try to understand the problem. So here the problem is highest occurring element in an array that we want to find. So here we are given with an array of n integers and we want to find the most frequent element in it. That is the element that occurs the maximum number of times. If there are multiple elements that appear a maximum number of times, find the smallest of them. This is one of the test case that we want to cover in our code. And yeah, so let's try to see the first example. Here it is given the input array and the elements are 1 2 2 3 3 3. So here we can visually see 3 is occurring 3 times, 2 is occurring 2 times, and 1 is occurring only once. So 3 is the output, that is like a max time occurring element in the array, right? And example 2, here 4 4 5 5 6. So here 6 is occurring only once, 5 is occurring twice, 4 is also occurring twice. But in this case what we want to return, we can see in the problem statement, if there are multiple elements that appear a maximum number of times, right? So here multiple elements 4 and 5 that are occurring same number of times, so we want to find the smallest of them, so it is 4, right? Now we want to solve this example. Here input array 10 9 7. Here all three numbers are occurring only once, right? So what we can return, we can return 7, that is like a smallest among these three element. Okay, so let's try to submit it. Yes, we got the 10 points here. So we have understood the problem. Let's go to the iPad and let's try to write the pseudo code of this particular problem. So I'll take one example from here, 1 2 2 3 3 maybe. Let's the array is something like this: 1 2 2 3 3 3, and again maybe we can add 2. Okay, right? So this is the input array that we are solving. Okay, so first what we'll do, we will need we'll need one visited array in this particular case. Why visited array? Because we want to track like that particular number occurred how many times, right? Like whether that number occurred in our counting or not. So we will keep one visiting array, and this is like a brute force approach that we are targeting here, right? We'll see the optimal approach in the next lecture, but this is a brute force approach. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take one visited array which is like a boolean type, boolean visited maybe, and new boolean. So what should be the size of this array? So how many numbers can occur in this? So it is nothing but like at max it will be the size of array, right? So that many unique numbers can be there, right? So let's say in this particular array, at worst case 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, these many numbers can occur in this array. The array size is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So 7 unique numbers can be there, right? So our visited array size should be equal to the size of array, right? So it can be, let's say, array dot size, right? This is the first variable that we will need. Then what we'll do, we will take one max count. Max count, we will just try to update the whatever the maximum count we found till now, and we'll keep one more element as a element maybe, and we'll initialize as -1. Element is nothing but the element for which the max count we have encountered. Okay, an element can be 1 2 3 in this particular case. Okay, and we'll take one more variable as count, just to count the number of occurrences within the for loop. So first what we'll do, we'll take one for loop. So this for loop will go from I equal to 0 to I is less than n, right? and what it will do, it will traverse through this array. It will traverse through this array and will pick one by one number from this array. Okay, and okay, so this is the first case. Okay, and what we'll do, we'll try to dry run this particular problem with the these three variables. How, what is the relation between this to understand. Okay, so I'll go to the next page and let's take the example again. 1 2 times 2, then 3 3 3, and what is it again, 2 at the end, 2. Okay, so our visited, there will be a visited array, right? So visited will be, let's say, it is a boolean, right? And it is of a size of 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, so we will append based on the 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so we'll append true or false. Basically, once we encountered this particular number, we'll append true or false in this particular visited array. Then there will be one element max count that we took. Max count will be 0, then element will be -1 at the start, and there will be a count. Okay, count will be 0. So we will traverse through this array using this particular for loop. Okay, so what we'll do first, we will come to the first element of the array. We will check whether 1 is visited or not. So we'll check in this array, 1 is visited, 1 is visited or not. Yes, it is visited. So basically what we'll do, we will mark this one as true in this array. Okay, that is done. Then what we'll do, we will traverse through the array and we'll find out what is the count of 1. Basically 1 is occurring here and nowhere else, so count will become 1. And after that what we'll do, we will compare this count with max count. If it is greater than max count, we will update max count to count and we'll update element to array of I, basically 1. Okay, so now our max count is 1, element is 1 at this step when array is array of I. Like we are traversing through the entire array, so we are at the first iteration. Then we will again go to the next number, it is 2. First thing, we'll check whether it is visited. Is it visited? No, it is not. So we'll append true here in the visited array. Then we'll come back here, we'll try to count the number of occurrences. So it is occurring here, so 2 times and 3 times, right? So we'll mark count as, count will become 3, right? Then again we'll compare count and max count. So here also count is greater than max count, we'll update max count to count. So count will become 3 and element will become array of I, which is nothing but 2, right? Now again we'll come back to the third element, it is again 2. So what we'll do, we don't know whether it is visited or not. We'll check in the visited array, 2 is visited or not. Yes, it is visited. So we will, what we'll do, we'll skip that number. We don't have to update any max count, element or count, right? Because it is already counted in our earlier iteration, right? Then again we'll do like I plus plus is going on, so we'll go to the next number, that is 3. We'll check first thing in the visited, 3 is visited or not. No, it is not. We'll append true here. Why we are appending true? Because we are taking visited as a boolean array, and in boolean like a data type, there are 2 values only, true and false. Okay, so we have appended true here. Then what we will do, we'll just count the number of occurrences for 3. So it is coming as once, twice and thrice here, so 3 times. So our count will become count will be 0 at the start, and it will become 3 now. So our count is 3 in case of 3, right? Our like the loop iteration is here. Okay, so we'll compare max count and count, right? So in this case it is equal. So in case of equal, what we want to do, we have seen the condition, right? Here it is specifically written, if there are multiple elements that appear a maximum number of times, find the smallest of them. So what we will do in this particular case, we will find whether array of I, which is nothing but array of I is nothing but this number, right? 3, and element is nothing but 2, right? We will try to find, whenever it is equal, we will try to find the minimum of both of them, array of I and element, and it is element, so we will keep element as it is. So in this case of equal, we will be only updating the element, we don't have to update the max count, it is already updated, right? Then again we come to the 3, it is 3 again, next element, it is already true, so we'll skip. Here again 3, it is already visited, so we'll skip. Then again 2, it is already visited, so we'll skip. And at the end, what we will return, we will return the element is nothing but 2. So in this particular example, the answer is 2, right? 1 2 2 3 3 3 2. So in this case 3 and 2 are appearing thrice each, and due to the condition, we are returning the smallest number. So basically max count is matching, so we are returning 2. So that is how we can like understand the our pseudocode. So we will try to complete our pseudocode with these conditions. So first thing, what we were checking, whenever at the first element, what we were checking, we were checking whether it is visited or not, right? So what we'll do, if visited of I, maybe visited of, no, not I, visited of array of I, basically visited of array of I equal to if it is true, then we will just continue the loop, right? If it is already visited, we will not do anything. If it is not visited, what we are doing, we are like updating our, we are basically, we have to count the numbers. Basically what we are doing, if it is not visited, we are counting how many times it is occurring. So for that we'll need one more loop. So the loop will be j equal to 0, j is less than n, and j plus plus, right? So it will go through all the numbers, and what it will do, if array of I is nothing but the first number that we are comparing, array of I equal to array of j. That means we found the same number. So what we'll do, we will increase our count to plus plus, right? Count will become count plus plus, right? That's what we were doing here. Count will become count plus plus, and after that we have to mark visited also to true. So what we'll do, visited of array of j, array of I, sorry, visited of array of I equal to true, right? That we will do. In case it is matching, count will become plus plus. Then what we need to do, we will yes, we will come out of this loop once we will have count and visited. Then what we'll do, if count is greater than max count, if count is greater than max count, what we are doing, max count we will update as count, max count equal to count, right? We were doing that. If we found a greater number in the count, we'll update the max count, and element also, element will become array of I. And at the end, what we'll do, there was one more condition where the count and max count are equal, then we wanted the element should be the minimum of both of them. So what we'll do, if count equal to max count, that can also be condition, then what we'll do, element equal to, we don't need to update the max count because max count is same, right? So there is no need to update max count, so we'll only update element. So element will become minimum of array of I and element, right? The minimum will become the our element to return, and we'll close this loop and return element. So that's it. Okay, so this is the pseudocode for this brute force approach. So let's try to write it down. So what we'll do, we will take first max count, in max count. Sorry, I was writing in the pseudocode format, so we are writing in Java. So int max count equal to 0, then int element equal to -1, right? And int cnt equal to 0, and boolean visited array new boolean array. So nums is the array name, nums dot size, right? So this is what we are doing. So we wanted at max like that size of visited array in case all the numbers are unique. That can be the like the max size we will want for the visited, right? Then we'll write one for loop, int I equal to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus. And after that, what we are doing, we are checking whether our array of I is already visited or not. Visited of nums, so it is not array nums of I. If visited of nums of I, right? So equal to true. In that case, we will skip the loop, continue, right? And if it is not, then what we'll do, in for int j equal to 0, j is less than n, j plus plus. And what we'll do, if array of I and array of j, we want to compare nums of I and nums of j, right? Nums of I equal to nums of j. If it is same, we need to increase the count, and yes, count should be inside this array, inside this loop, because we want to reset it every time, right? That we forgot to like add in the pseudocode. If nums of I equal to nums of j, then we'll do count plus plus and visited of array of I equal to true, right? We'll mark that particular number as already visited. Then if is done, this for loop will be done. We will have the count of that particular array of I, how many times it occurred. Then we have to compare it. Count is greater than max count. If it is the case, we will update max count equal to cnt and element equal to array of I. So array of I is the highest element in this case, and if count equal to max count, in that case we have to update only element equal to mat dot min of element comma array of I, whatever is the smallest. So here our for loop will end and will return element. So basically we were doing two mistakes here. So I was using array as a variable, but it was given as a nums. So that was the first mistake inside the loop. And also one more thing was like we have to use this particular method length here, right? So that is how we can submit this problem, right? So we were able to submit this. Now talking about the time complexity here, right? So what is the time complexity? We can see, right, there are two for loops, and at worst it will be like O of n square, right? And what is the space? It is nothing but O of 10 raised to 4. Basically you can see here it is given, right? The array size, so it is like less than equal to 10 raised to 4, so that can be the our space complexity of 10 raised to the 4. Okay, so in the next lecture we will try to see the next optimal solution for this same problem. Thank you for watching.